A recent investigation found that Tesla vehicles are failing at an alarming rate. Now the Senate's demanding answers from the company about what they knew and when they knew it. Yeah, I got to tell you something. I got problems with this story. Why don't you lay the story out, and I want to tell you what my problems are, okay?
Yeah, recently Reuters came out. They did this big investigation. They found that there were, steering failures with these Tesla vehicles that would almost render the entire vehicle inoperable, would become a danger on the roadway. So Reuters goes in, does their due diligence, looks at the internal documents, talks to people that work there, and what they said was, it looks like Tesla's trying to shift responsibility from themselves and just saying, nope, the drivers, like thousands of drivers, all screwed up in the same way. So that's where we're at with what we know.
This is almost unprecedented. I don't know if you realize that. Coming from Congress. Now, they've got, Musk has got a big old zero on his back. He's got a big target on his back. Let me give you the truth, the other side of the story. Faulty hidden defects are American cars, Japanese cars, they're everywhere. Just some examples that I saw before we came in here, where you had unintended acceleration in Toyotas, killed 300 people. That went on for years. And the complaint after complaint went to Congress, went to regulators, they did nothing. Faulty ignition switches that caused the car to shut down and the driver would lose control of the car completely. That was complained about. You had regulators, you had Congress. No word, nothing was done. Okay? So what's the difference here? Defective tires, the Firestone case, you remember that?
God.
Do you have any idea how long people, and I was 700 injuries on the faulty ignition, 300 people died. I mean, we're talking about far worse than we're seeing with the Tesla case. But the Democrats at this point hate this guy. And they're going after him, and now this is what he's faced with. I just think, if you're going to do it with everybody. Don't center on Musk. The other one was remember the bucking Bronco?
Yeah.
That was just, what it killed 1,000 people.
Yeah.
1,000 people. And Congress knew about it, regulators knew about it. The Pinto exploding gas tank, same deal. Plenty of notice what was going on, but Congress did nothing, and now they're going after him. You got to play fair. You got to say this is good for you and it's good for everybody, and you can't just pick favorites.
Right, I agree with you 100% on that. And look, I understand Musk, he's got his political leanings, and yeah, he has pissed off the Democrats, and they should be looking at this, but like you say, they ought to be looking at every single one.
Exactly.
There isn't a single automaker in the United States that hasn't at some point, probably some of them even today, that are covering up significant dangers that eventually are going to come across your desk here at the law firm, and you're going to have to deal with it and see the documents. But I also want to point out, by the way, the GM ignition switch, so everybody understands, GM saved $2.13 per vehicle on that ignition switch that killed hundreds of people.
300
for
people.
Less than $3 is what they saved. But look, we could be looking at something similar with Tesla. I mean, it has all the signs of, they probably knew something was screwed up, and this many people could get hurt. It's what they all do. But if you're going to call them in and say, come answer questions, say, oh, by the way, after you, we've got GM, Ford, Toyota, everybody coming in after.
Play fair. Yeah. As you know, I'm no big fan of Musk. Right. I'm just saying, look, how many times have you seen us involved with a lawsuit that's outrageous? I mean, completely crazy, like the CPAP lawsuit that's going on right now that we're handling. That's the mask that you put on because you have apnea. Hell, it's causing all kinds of lung diseases. So we take that kind of information, we put it in a box, we send it to the right people. Invariably, they do nothing about it, okay? So this bothers me a lot because this is targeting. And when you start targeting and weaponizing the process, that's all that's happened here. Whether I like him or not, you know what? Doesn't make any difference. Let's be fair across the table. Scientists at the EPA have been pressured for years to approve a dangerous pesticide that poses massive health risks to humans, animals, and the environment. And when scientists raised these concerns, they were told that, you know what, we might have to cover this up. And that's what's going on. How many times does this story have to be told? Paraquat, Roundup, atrazine. I could go on forever, where the EPA just fall under political pressure. You know, some regulator calls them from another department, or some senator calls them and says, you know, we really need to make this happen. Pick it up.
Yeah, this is a pesticide called Aldicarb.
Right.
And Aldicarb, the EPA's been going back and forth on it for 14 years at least. Oh, do we approve it? Do we not? Well, according to the EPA's own scientists, this stuff is going to give you developmental issues. It alters babies' brains. It'll kill people, it'll kill animals, it'll kill the environment, it'll poison the water, poison the food, literally poison everything out there. So let's not approve it. But every time they say that, the higher ups and sometimes the politicians,
It's
the
senators.
industry insiders,
it's senators. It's congressmen.
yeah, they make the phone calls and they say, hey, run your test again, but this time only look for X,
Right.
Y, and Z, things they know they won't find.
We see it all the time. As you know, I handled Roundup. I'm handling paraquat. I handled PFAS. Every time the department would phony up clinicals. They literally would phony them up and come up with a test that would make it look safer. They would just move some numbers, a decimal point here, a decimal point there, and they'd move numbers around. This thing is so bad, it even has a nickname in the industry. It's called all de crap. It is absolute poison, where they can see functional changes on PET scans, neurological changes on PET scans with children, babies. So they want to use this in orange groves. All the orange juice is going to be contaminated. Where they use it, the aquifer is going to be contaminated. It's going to be in our water. It's going to be in our air. But the EPA is literally still considering, after 14 years, they've been giving, everybody is told, it's banned in 100 countries, Farron. 100 countries have looked at this and said, hell no, we can't use this.
We see that all the time too. In a lot of those cases you're mentioning that you've either handled or are handling, a lot of those chemicals have been banned across the planet. But here in the United States, because we have this industry regulatory capture, we keep putting it out there and poisoning our own country when everybody else in the world looks at us and says, are you insane? We took this off the market 20 years ago because we knew it was killing everybody.
Imagine the politicians making these calls. I mean, most of them, IQ of about room temperature, have no idea what the science is. Well, Mr. EPA, this guy's in my district. He gives me a lot of money. Could you just give him a break? We're talking about killing thousands of children. I mean, that's what the conclusion is. I mean, you'd cause brain damage for infants and young children. I mean, they're most susceptible to this.
Orange juice in the store would become poison for everybody drinking.
We're talking about hundreds of millions of pounds of this pesticide that's already been banned around the world, and we have a damn dysfunctional, stupid, unworkable EPA with the same morons involved that have given us paraquat, they've given us Roundup, they've given us PFAS. At what point do you say this is not working? Richard Nixon, of all people, started the EPA.
Yeah.
I mean, how crazy is that? And he said this is a good idea to have somebody looking over these guys' shoulders. Well, it doesn't make any difference anymore. It is absolute fraud. It's EPA fraud. The scientists are frauds that make this happen. They move decimals around and they make it look safe. They know exactly what they're doing. Congress knows what they're doing. And you know what? Have you seen this article anywhere? Have you seen the corporate media covering this anywhere?
Oh, heck no. And they certainly won't.
No,
Absolutely
they won't
not.
They won't cover it a bit. But it's kind of the perfect storm. Politicians put their foot into it to make it happen. The media has, if it's not a low-hanging fruit story, they don't do the story. They don't even understand how dangerous. Dicambra, great example. Same thing. Yeah. And then you have regulators who end up going to work for the industry. They talk to some regulator who's making $50,000 a year and say, hey, how would you like to make $500,000 a year? Give us a break on this, will you, Joe? Yeah. And that's what happens.